And I think that shows a positive example to the next generations. I am proud of that. They are humble. They are good persons. That's.
Rafael Nadal is not someone who throws compliments around lightly. Every word he speaks about tennis comes from decades of sweat, sacrifice, and hard-fought battles on the biggest stages in the world. So when he steps forward and publicly declares his pride in someone, the tennis world stops and listens. And right now, the player he's talking about is Eala, a rising star from the Philippines who is quietly turning heads and winning hearts across the sport. But here's what's interesting. Nadal's words weren't just about her game. They weren't about rankings or statistics or highlight reel shots. They were about something far more rare, her character. After Eala's third-round victory over Coco Gauff at the 2026 Indian Wells tournament, Nadal didn't just celebrate the win. He celebrated the person behind it. She is humble and respectful, he said. And coming from a man who has shared courts with the greatest players of all time, that means everything. Now, here's the full picture of that match. Gauff had to retire mid-match due to injury. Eala was already in a winning position, but instead of celebrating, she did something you rarely see at that level. She stepped back. She expressed genuine concern for Gauff's well-being. She made it clear, openly and honestly, that this wasn't the kind of victory she wanted. Think about that for a second. A young player, on one of the biggest stages of her career, turning down the spotlight because her opponent was hurting. That's not something you can coach. That's character. And Nadal saw it. All of it. That moment captured exactly what he admires about her. The empathy, the sportsmanship, the quiet maturity of someone who understands that how you win matters just as much as that you win. But Nadal didn't stop there. He went a step further and said something that truly stuck with people. He pointed to her family. At the end of the day, anyone who does something good is, in one way or another, brought up by their family. It's a simple statement, but it runs deep. Nadal, who has known Eala through his academy for years, understands that the values she carries onto that court didn't appear overnight. They were built, lesson by lesson, year by year, by the people who raised her. And that's ultimately what makes Nadal's praise so meaningful. He's not just saying she's talented. He's saying she's good. Good in a way that tennis genuinely needs right now. Good in a way that could shape what the sport looks like for the next generation. Eala is just getting started. And if the greatest clay court champion of all time believes in what she stands for, the rest of the world is about to find out why.
Tennis players there, and I think they're gonna keep helping this beautiful sport to grow and to engage fans.
And the Gauff match wasn't a one-time moment. This is simply who Eala is. Take what happened during her match against Hailey Baptiste. Mid-match, Baptiste went down with an injury, and Eala's response was immediate. She didn't stay in her corner mentally preparing for the next point. She walked over. She checked on her opponent, genuinely and without hesitation. And then she did something that caught everyone off guard. She turned to her own fans and urged them to cheer for Baptiste as she walked off the court. Her own fans, cheering for her opponent. In a sport that can sometimes feel cold and fiercely competitive, that single moment was a breath of fresh air. After the match, Eala praised Baptiste publicly and wished her a full and speedy recovery. No PR strategy, no carefully worded statement, just a young woman who genuinely cares about the people she competes against. That kind of humanity is rare at any level of sport. At this level, it's almost unheard of. And people have noticed. The buzz around Eala has been building steadily, but her appearance at Indian Wells this year crossed into something historic. Her match didn't just draw a crowd, it shattered records. Ticket demand surged so dramatically that prices climbed to levels the tournament had never seen before. When the dust settled, a single match had generated $5 million in ticket sales. One match, $5 million. A record that had never been touched in the tournament's entire history. But here's the thing, that number isn't just about tennis. It's not purely about watching a talented player compete. People are buying tickets because of who she is. Because she makes you feel something. Because in a world full of athletes, she's also just a good person. And fans can feel that. Eala isn't just filling seats. She's filling a space in the sport that a lot of people didn't even realize was empty.
They are humble. They are good persons. That's true.
But none of this has come as a surprise to one person, Rafael Nadal. While the rest of the world is only now waking up to what Eala is capable of, Nadal has known for years. Long before the record ticket sales, long before the headlines, long before Indian Wells, he saw it. He watched her work. He watched her grow. And quietly, behind closed doors at his academy, he recognized something in her that he didn't take lightly. The hunger, the humility, the way she approached every session like she had something to prove, even when no one was watching. Nadal has spoken about these qualities before, not in relation to Eala specifically, but as the foundation of every great champion he's ever admired. And here was a young woman from the Philippines embodying all of them. Now, Nadal has always been careful with the players he mentors. He's not the type to manufacture hype or throw a young athlete into the spotlight before they're ready. He lets the work speak. He lets the results build the story. That's been his approach with everyone who has come through his academy. Protect them, develop them, and trust the process. But with Eala, something has shifted. Her rise has reached a point where it simply cannot be contained by quiet mentorship anymore. The world is watching. The records are falling. And now, Nadal is stepping forward, openly, proudly, and without reservation, to tell anyone who will listen exactly what he sees in her. This isn't a coach supporting a student out of obligation. This is one of the greatest champions the sport has ever produced, putting his name and his reputation behind a player he genuinely believes in. And when Rafael Nadal believes in you, the whole world pays attention.
And I think that shows a positive example to the next generations. I am proud of.
In a sport where the opinions of legends carry real weight, what Nadal is saying about Eala matters deeply. He's spent his entire career building a reputation on honesty and respect. He doesn't say things he doesn't mean. And what he's saying now is this: she's the real deal. Not just as a tennis player, as a person. Eala's journey is still in its early chapters, but what she's already written is remarkable. The moments that define her aren't just the wins, they're the gestures, the quiet acts of decency, the way she carries herself when the cameras are rolling and when they're not. That consistency is everything. And it's exactly what Nadal has been watching, nurturing, and waiting for the world to finally see. His endorsement isn't a publicity move. It's a passing of the torch, from one of the most decorated champions in the history of the sport to a young woman who he believes can carry that legacy forward, and maybe even elevate it. Because what Eala represents goes beyond rankings and trophies. She's showing the next generation of players, and fans, what tennis can look like when talent and character walk onto the court together. When winning matters, but how you play matters just as much. When your opponents, your fans, and the integrity of the game are all treated with the same level of respect. That's rare, that's powerful, and that's exactly why the tennis world is buzzing. Rafael Nadal spent over 2 decades shaping what this sport looks like. Now, he's pointing at Eala and saying, she's the future. And honestly, it's hard to argue with him. The next generation of tennis has arrived, and it looks like it's in very good hands. So, what do you think? Does Nadal's endorsement of Eala change how you see her rise in the sport? Do you believe players like her are redefining what it means to compete at the highest level? And just how far do you think she can go? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.